We are back. We are back. We are back in the saddle again. And I won't say that like Steven Tyler. Thank you very much for coming to Stone Soup. I almost didn't set up tonight, but the longer I put it off, the harder it is to get started and get back on the hosting horse for our events. Tonight is an all open mic. Next week, we have the stylings of Tara Betts, newly published author as of this past June, and a multiple published author and a recent appointed professor. I saw Aerosmith in North Bend, Indiana. I saw them in Great Woods in 2000. I think it was 2000, summer of 2002. Blew the rest of my money, my savings to get there, and then my girlfriend broke up with me. 1977. Ooh, that must have been a magic time, especially if Steven Tyler was still relatively sober-ish, but Tara Betts recently got a newly acquired teaching position. She got a book published. She's hot shit as of late, and I've been asking for her since around the summertime or around the springtime, and now I finally got a spot for her. She is going to be our first online feature and of 2023, and hopefully not the last. We'll have more announcements hopefully in the next 2 days. And stay tuned in 2 weeks' time. Blackbird, our resident open micer, sometimes host, oftentimes past feature of Stone Soup, is going to be featuring live to kick off November at the Assemblage Gallery as part of Fort Point Arts Community, which is going to be the source of additional shows coming up. I am looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to March 8th when Kelly O'Keefe, formerly of the Flatline Poets and current organizer and co-founder of many things, one of the busiest poets in Boston, is going to be featuring live at the Assemblage Gallery on March 8th. And hopefully more features are going to be announced as I negotiate them and contact people. Very excited to get back on that horse. I think it's safe to say I'll go through the rest of January without contracting COVID, or at least going through it, not realizing I have COVID until I diagnose myself through a test after showing symptoms 5 days later. So go me. So we will proceed as if January was a success, which I think it's going to be. And we're going to go to our open mic tonight, which is the list is completely selected by the Ramdonator 5000. And the Ramdonator has selected for our first open mic participant, a past Stone Soup feature from last year and a recent celebrator of a birthday. Let's welcome up Mary Jennings.
Thank you, Chad. Happy New Year, everyone. The two fears. Leap of faith to go lone wolf. Partnerships don't just fold.
Is anyone else having a hard time hearing Mary?
Yeah, I can't hear her.
Oh.
Is that?
Do you want me to turn on that will help?
Whatever you suggested that might help, definitely do it, because I could barely hear the question.
It's not so much that I can't hear it, it's that it has a twangy sound. Does anyone hear the twangy sound?
It sounds like she's breaking up. It sounds like a bandwidth problem or something.
Okay, as long as it's not me, because I had a bandwidth problem.
Yeah, I'm still on my phone.
Okay.
All right,
Well,
I'll
that sounds
start again.
better.
Great, thank you. Okay. Into the lone open fields. Took the leap of faith to go lone wolf. Partnerships don't just fold. They're spindled and mutilated. Pay when you can for needed assistance. No more compromises to see what the shepherd sees as standard practice. Just say yes, and we'll be in the money. Open and trusting, you had no clue, but you had a talent for prying. Didn't want to believe there was something to hide, but there it is, behind the false front of a high tower that was just a molehill. If you're not in the bureaucracy or the hierarchy, in the void. Here's where structure falls apart, but everything is spread out. Breathe in the air of the long open fields.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mary. Looks like we have an Angelo coming in. Angelo who? I'm not certain, but I'll definitely welcome him with open arms. Oh, hey, Angelo. Angelo D'Amato, thank you so much for coming in. We just heard Mary Jennings. We just got started. A couple people are out today, but we got 1 or 2 new people. Well, the Randinator 5000 will fit you in appropriately. For now, we're going to go into our next open micer. Let's welcome up Mr. Ed Galt, also known as Magister Galt.
Thank you. This one is weather appropriate for this time of year. Kind of an old one. It's called Polar Desert. White roofs. The trees, their limbs burdened with snow, stag to the ground. The train tracks stretch across the frozen ground toward the snow gusts. The pond, covered with a thick sheet of ice, is like a sanctuary for all life beneath. Quiet rains. Like arrows, icicles hanging from the wires point the way. The sun triumphs. Snow glistens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed. Looks like we're getting some more people coming in. This is great. For now, we're going to go down the Randinator list. And next up, I'm going to ask her to unmute. It's our one phone participant. Carol Weston sends her regards tonight. And but for now, we're going to her good friend and fellow poet has joined us. So let's welcome up Miss Nancy Dodson.
A canine edict. Old wild animal, do not bite me. Keep my flesh from your teeth. So be blessed with your solitude, then quench and thirst for the water of my soul. Tiger, do not eat me, for you will do it again and again. Once you've eaten me, you will long for my flesh. Come and be a pacifist animal and take your rest. Yes, go away from me and be blessed. I love the animals at rest.
Thank you, Nancy. We're going to go next to legacy poet and longtime open micer since the last year. It's exciting to have her on our team, so to speak. Let's welcome up Ms. Julian Powers.
Thanks. This one's really short. An ice cell cracks, opens with jagged edges, freeze tree buds with shape-shifting powers, turning to water, sliding in the sun. Thank you.
Thank you, Julian. Now, who do we have next? Well, with some mixing, we can bring up now if he's willing to participate. I didn't ask him beforehand. Just been excited that everyone showed up. Alexander Perez, if you're interested in reading, you're more than welcome to.
Hi, yeah, I'd like to read. My name's Alexander. I live up here in outside Albany, New York, and Schenectady, New York. I'm not sure where you guys are based, but RM Engelhardt posted this on Facebook, so that's how I got the link. So thanks for inviting me. Yeah, hopefully I don't sound like a robot. So I'm gonna read now.
Go ahead.
touch my fingers with fire as if they were candles. If I am here next to him, when the warmth fades from his hands, his face, his heart, fades from the bed, the room, our house, in that brisk event, fades like the heat from the leaves of our old catalpa tree after the long sunsets of summer. How will I capture it, that heat, that fugitive heat, that heat that is rightfully mine and does not belong to you, universe, cold, lightless desert. That heat I know to the same degree as my own, from nights at his side, from winter nights without power, when it saved me from freezing. That heat from his untouchable fire that burned away my clothes. From the soothing flow of his love that felt like fresh, shallow creeks warmed at noon inside me. How will I capture it? Capture with my hands a bird that flies with invisible wings, with my lips a sugar granule that dissolves into nothing, with my eyes a solar wind. How will I capture it with these hands that can barely hold on to the words that want to escape this poem, escape this room where I write, escape our house where he steams the vegetables in the kitchen for tonight's dinner? Words that want to turn away from this chilling body of poetry. My hands, unlike his that gripped the reins of 10 horses in the harness races when he was young, that could hold steady the rays of the sun, or his nursing hands that turned the sick in their hospital beds as if they were plants heavy with darkness needing the light. Tell me, how will I clasp, spirit, regain that brief, passing, unreachable, if I am here next to him? Thanks for letting me share.
Oh, by all means, and come back. We try and do this every Wednesday. We do have live gatherings that we haven't had hybrid online parts for, but I'm hoping to change that by the time the live reading with in-person reading with Blackbird comes around or sooner. But come back next week for the online feature with Tara Betts.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Thank you. And up next, let us bring up, he's chomping at the bit to participate from Parts Unknown. Let's welcome up Bill Lewis.
You're calling on, I get to do one? Oh, Chad, you are just, that is so kind of you. I'm just so. Well, it looks like we're going to get an article in the Dig that we are going to be interviewing the people who actually have to work and deal with the street people, the people who have to clean up after them, the people who have to, the guards, the medical people. So if we get that into the Dig, it will be a wonderful thing. And maybe people here will begin to look at what they have done and say, is this really what we want our society to be? So I'm really psyched about that. There's something that money can do sometimes. Oh, so I'm all excited. How rich would we be if only we all cared? Imagine walking down the street at night as a woman alone and not having to be afraid. Oh, we can do that, you know. Imagine parents watching out for kids, not just their own kids, all kids. What if fathers loved their children so much that they would endure the agony of an irritating wife so that their children could grow up happy? What if we didn't need a guard to protect our backpacks and our bikes? Can you imagine that? No piles of garbage in the bird sanctuary, no blankets and socks and underwear littering the streets. For that matter, not even paper or plastic cups, just sidewalks that are clean and gorgeous with cigarette butts. Because there are always cigarette butts. Yes, even in heaven, the angels stub out their cigarettes on the side of clouds and drop them by the golden gates. We're stuck with that part. But all the rest, what a beautiful world if everyone just cared. If only everyone cared, how much would that cost? It costs one heart per person. One heart per person, that's all it is. You, me, us, and those other people outside, and that's everybody. All we have to do is care.
On the other hand, as the late great comic Bill Hicks would say, you all smoke up here? Yeah, that's why it's called heaven. So used to go, hell is not smoking. You want to see what that's like? I can't believe what they would do with their bodies. They're so inconsiderate. Wow, how hellish. No kidding. Okay, as a non-smoker, even I found that funny. Now let us go to the man I like to call the pulp poet, the pulp fiction poet. Let's welcome up Mr. John Wesick.
Thank you, Chad. My camera's turning on here. Okay, so I brought a couple books back from the dead. These were my short story collections, Arugula and The Alchemist Grandson. The publisher went out of business during the first part of the pandemic, and I've reincarnated them through the dark power of the website that shall not be named. Anyway, I'll post some links to it. I'll read one piece from The Alchemist's Grandson. It's called The Storehouse of Consciousness. Even after destruction, a book's echo remains. Like Schrodinger's cat, its location hovers between dream and awareness. Some call this place the Alaya Vijnana. I prefer Library of Lost Works. The library's gleaming white bricks offer analysis, no purchase. Smooth like marble, they could be composed of sound, symbol, or even the motion of a finger, according to some experts. Others say they're made of thought or images. Members of the reductionist camp theorize the flip of an electron, twitch of a nerve, or any order imposed on chaos can form the bricks that the builders stacked in the library's grand architecture of semantics and syntax. We know something of the design, how the distinction between self and other prepared the ground for a foundation of nouns that support walls of actions and a roof of description. But who organized the catalog? Was it the work of some supreme intelligence, or did the books organize themselves organically, like the brains of their authors? The librarians who wear white togas and carry torches of cold green fire will not say. These sexless creatures of light can direct you to a book and sometimes describe how it vanished from the physical plane, but will offer no judgment on the truth of its contents. Thus, if you ask whether a wicked demiurge created the world as stated in the apocryphal New Testament book of Eve, the librarians will maintain a noble silence. The library contains 3 wings. In the wing of misplaced works, books, scrolls, and clay tablets are translucent and diaphanous as hummingbird wings, because unknown copies still exist in the world. This wing houses Euclid's Book of Fallacies, Shakespeare's Love's Labour's Won, and Cardenio, as well as Rimbaud's Lost Notebook and Hemingway's first novel that was stolen with his suitcase in Paris. Once all copies of a book are eliminated, it becomes solid and dense in the mental realm. The librarians then move it to the wing of destroyed works. Here you will find books such as Confucius's Classic of Music, the Mayan Codices, and the Manichaean Holy Book that have been burned by dictators, fanatics, and self-appointed guardians of dogma. This wing also contains works destroyed by their authors, such as the early poems of Gerard Manley Hopkins and parts 2 and 3 of Gogol's Dead Souls. There are books lost through accident and neglect, like most of Aeschylus's plays, the Old Testament Book of Jasher, sutras preached by Buddhas of previous kalpas, Maxine Hong Kingston's original Fourth Book of Peace, and several of Da Vinci's drawings, parts of the Colossus of Rhodes, and the great statues of Bamiyan rest in the foyer, which is adorned by paintings that perished in the World Trade Center. Perhaps the saddest section of the library is the wing of works that never were. This wing houses books that authors never pursued due to laziness, self-censorship, or lack of confidence. There is a large display of overlooked manuscripts by the card cataloged. Authors, some as well known as Thomas Hardy, shredded these works in frustration after literary agents and publishing houses showed no interest. Construction workers add to the library all the time. Plastic sheets separate the existing wings from a new extension that allows lost computer files. The sheets keep out plaster dust, but do little to muffle the sound of power tools. Finance is no problem. Coins that slip out of pockets and disappear between couch cushions worldwide provide ample funding. Except for glances from a few browsers, the library's grand collections remains unread. No one can check books out, and there are no copy machines in the lobby. I'm implementing a plan to smuggle books out. Each night, I visit the library in my dreams and read forbidden treatises on metaphysics. The scale of the cosmos, humanity's place in it, and what existed before the Big Bang all makes sense until I forget everything but a few sentences in the disorientation of waking. I scribble those on the yellow legal pad I keep on the nightstand. I've filled 27 pages so far. At this rate, I can assemble a book in 20 years. That's too long. I need your help. With a big enough team, we can restore humanity's lost legacy by the turn of the century, assuming the librarians don't notice the lines of text vanishing from their books. Once they do, I'm sure they'll try to stop us. Thus, we should start with the highest priority works. Does anyone here speak Aramaic? Thanks, everybody, and I'll post the link to the newly reborn books in the chat.
Thank you, and congratulations on getting them back. Did you have to completely redesign the covers?
No, one cover I actually owned. The other cover, they kind of took one of my pictures and photoshopped it and reproduced it. So I just photoshopped that picture and kind of placed it into the template. It's all it's all create space, but even when you go through it and you edit it again, you still find typos, and so yeah, okay, there's it's a little bit cleaner than it used to be.
Well, good for you. Congratulations on getting having the know-how to do that.
Yeah, just make it available for people. It's just a template and pasting it in, really.
Nice. Well, again, thank you. And now we're going to bring ourselves to another past contributor to the open mic, Angelo D'Amato.
All right. This poem is called In Despair of Nostalgic Noel. Quelle heure est-il? Asks the desolate Frenchman. Quelle heure est-il? The clouds vomit rain against the ironclad studio. Mistletoe weeps above isolated doors. C'est l'heure du ravissement, de la joie, of all the things that make life worth living. Boysenberry pie with gold brown crust, whipped cream topped by a neon cherry, bits of tinsel floundering in the punch bowl, cocoa powder clinging to the lip of a broken mug, sap-filled logs bursting in the fire. The Frenchman crumbles before the solitary headlight of a train ambling from Paris to Amsterdam. Snowmen collapse sur les champs de Mars. Les chevals du pont d'Alexandre III lord their triumph over the disconsolate, huddled beneath collapsing umbrellas and starving for home. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelo. And up next, if he is so inclined, if we can tear him away from his steak dinner, that's his brag, not mine. We can welcome up Cecilia Chagra, whose new book, The Open Microphone, is not only out, but available for purchase. I just got my copy today, and along with some other freebies and postcards designed by Mr. Chagra. I'll be looking forward to cracking this open and seeing what's the culmination of decades of work. And hopefully I can dispense with this long-winded intro to get Cecilia Chagra. Here he is, Cecilia Chagra, everyone. You're still muted.
Okay, here I am. Thank you, Angelo. That was amazing. And Bill, be careful with the word "we." All right. The first poem in the book. Graphic as the wind through mouth passages, the invisible wit speaks and bounces off walls, falling down, down, and down through what appears to be no floor. Then it rises up and out through an expanding sky ceiling of raw opinions, listening as if recalling echoes of lost thoughts and all their lost meanings. Here lie the songscapes of many poetic efforts. Clear or not, the words are the believable blood cells of reading. A living voice aloud. The dying sounds may be good enough, right enough, bad enough, wrong enough, enough to hear themselves as living poetry. And this book in my life would not have happened without Doc Cody. So I'm gonna, at they're all called open mic, number 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 27 in the first two sections, Scared Sacred and Death of an Ego. And then in the last section, they're called the open mic, and they're named after the character that is the book. But there's only one in the series here called Open Love number 1, and it's Poet Doctor. And this is for David Doc Cody. And if you didn't know him, he opened up and ran almost every open mic up in New Hampshire, came down to Stone Soup, and he became my poetry dad. He was just a godsend in my life, him and Fran. And he passed away, a brilliant man who got Alzheimer's at the end of his time here. His favorite 2 words were no thing. Oh, angel, angel of light, angel of dark, angel of nothing. Oh, empty, empty angel. Oh, angel, angel of raw love, angel of hungry, angel of no one. Oh, angel, angel of no chance. Oh, catcher, catcher of words, words falling to the refuse of language, to the soil of grammar in a garden of art, on a world of literature under a sky of poetry, and round the sun of reminders so blinding. Oh, Dharma, Dharma of laughter, poet, doctor of truth's end. Oh, harsh, gentle kindness. You critical love seed. What? Oh, what comes from a poem? Oh, what comes and transcends from a poem? What? Oh, what comes? Oh, what comes and transcends from no thing. David Doc Cody is a godsend of a man. He was here. His spirit's still here, and it's good to see Jeff Taylor. I think knew him. He just showed up. Good to see you, Jeff, and everyone. John's new book. John, thank you. Much love, Julian. You sent me the thing, and thank you everyone who bought the book. And Mary's here. She's been here forever. Oh, we got what? Another poet? Yeah. Okay, we got another poet behind me. Got to squeak someone in. She wants to read.
Okay, sure. We'll get her in after Jeff Taylor.
All right, cool.
We got him up in line, and
Oh, by the way, the steak, it's if you go twice a year at the market 32, or if you go there only twice a year, the steaks go on sale cheaper than chicken, but you got to buy like a steak like that, and then you carve it up into a million pieces, and then you eat for a half a year. That's how you can
Worth
get
it to me.
steak cheaper than McDonald's, basically tonight's dinner. I know it sounded a lot like. Thank you, bye.
still sounds good to me. Okay, let's welcome up organizer of the Garage Poets Reading Series, a member of the Garage Poets Band, and a poet and feature in his own right, solo. Let's welcome up Jeff Taylor.
Thanks, Chad. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm going to do a cover poem. This is by Jeffrey McDaniel from his book Alibi School. It was published on Manic D Press. Here we go. It's called Where the Self Divides. 1. Loneliness is a privilege, and I'm grateful for the afternoons I had as a child to feed the crocodile I invented in my closet. How the knobs of wood expanded in my hand when I threatened my best friend with death. 20 years later, he still has nightmares where I get mad, fling open the door. Downstairs, our mothers were one mother, measuring emptiness by the milligram. Their laughter clung to the ceiling like balloons after a party, only they never came down, stayed there without color or reason. Bruises are genetic. 2. At age 10, we opened a window and snapped our jaws at the world. A flashlight's subtle patch on pavement rendered bewilderment in nearly all who passed. A bucket of water dumped from 3 stories up onto the reliable shock of a stranger. Made our hair electric, teeth sharp. Milk bottles, barbells came next. By 12, we were slithered from the house's skin, graffitied crack, rom, rascal, in the narrow throats of Philadelphia, and knocked over trash cans with our tails. Under the dank wings of older kids on corners, we learned how to steal a chump's heart without saying a word. By 16, anger's boomerang curved back at us, a hole in the wall the size of a shield. My fingers traced the hemline of a frenzy, passed down through the family like an heirloom we can all squeeze into. That was Jeffrey McDaniel, Where the Self Divides.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
And now, who do we have, Mr. CC, to join us for, who's the last entry in our round robin? CC?
We have me.
Who is that?
We have me, Kathleen Holzer.
Oh, okay, yes.
I don't know whether the thing is on. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I have to put the video on. Hold on one sec.
No worries.
Yeah, I would, but your mouse doesn't work and your pad doesn't work.
Oh, yes, good. Hold on, say, hold on, they could hear you.
Yeah. It's okay. I got it. I got it. I got it. Take the page out of the printer. So I was going to read a short one. Kathleen Holzer, not CC or Chagra. And this is called Worry Not. A slag heap of anxiety, huddled mound of anticipation, suspicion, and catastrophe. The imagination colors every input a lurid purple black, a bruise on the future, feeding on the memory of disaster past. Gaze ceaselessly scans the horizon for trouble ahead. Head swivels to check for problems in pursuit. Worst case scenarios are the starting point, not the end point. The ground gives way underfoot. An abyss of ripe peril beckons. The symphony of doom rattles the bones and ricochets in the cranium. Thoughts that envision the world as relentless Dungeons and Dragons. Worry not, my friends. Thank you. So I shall mute myself here. If I can find the mouse. There.
You're all good. Thank you very much, Kathleen. And with that, the party will start over again, going back to the Random 5000's first choice. I'm sorry she got cut off earlier, but hopefully if we do a second time around, we'll be able to hear Mary Jennings a little bit better. Usually the second time is better for even people with weak connections. I don't know why that happens, but anyway, Mary.
It's happening again.
You're good right now. Keep going.
I'm good. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Just so you know, the last poem ended just as I went out. This one's shorter, so deconsecrate. Recede from the creed, from the screed, once declared inviolate from the stir of sin. When the sanctuary is sold, there will be no constraints. No one's taken leave of their senses. There is a new sacredness abound that is not rooted in scare tactics, that is ascending the stars from the ground up. Thank you.
So good, glad we got to hear that uninterrupted, and also very glad. I really did think that was the last line that you said before you cut out was the actual last line. So awesome coincidence, excellent. Thank you again, Mary. Hope to see you again more often this year, and congratulations on your recent birthday.
Thank you.
Which I think also coincided with your recent retirement officially.
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on both counts. Now, let's move on to Magister Galt. Mr. Ed Galt, floor is yours, sir.
Okay, thank you. This is a piece called Drawing the Moon that I may submit to Brownstone Poets for their annual publication. Between this and Jump Rope, the poem club, I'm having kind of a hard time making up my mind now. But here's Drawing the Moon. You came up to me with your little red book, the one you put the stickers in, and a crayon. You told me that you wanted me to draw the moon. So I drew a fine line for the horizon. Long vertical lines became trees. A river flowed down through them. Then I drew stars. Finally, I drew the moon and filled in the sky dark blue. Because you wanted to see me draw. And there would be a time when you will not care what I can do. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Magister. Let's welcome up next Julian Power. Oh, actually, first, before we do that, I forgot our special phone guest. Let's ask her to unmute by pressing *6, and we can hear Nancy Dotson a second time.
Mr. Skunk. Mr. Skunk, you have glossy black fur and white stripes down your back. You walk on your hind legs. Why? I start screaming, trying to smell you, and cannot smell you. You ignore me and walk to the dripping faucet and take a drink. Then you still ignore my screams and walk away across the street to the park. Mr. Skunk, you're not afraid of me, and in your security, I am insecure. You're a fixed pet, and I do not understand you. Yet, Mr. Skunk, you have conceit, and my confidence is lacking. Are you a person skunk that's trained to be like people? I like you. Confide, Mr. Skunk. I like you.
Thank you, Nancy. And now, who do we have next? Oh, yes, we have Julianne Powers, yes, for a second time.
Hungry ghost sunk teeth into hands. In the melody, dances, hypnotizing new hosts. The haunt trips the light about the parlor looking for escape. The hungry hosts want the same, both drawn to flesh and the doorway. Like vampires, hunger for the long goodbye. Thank you.
And up next, our brand new participant. I'm so glad to have him. I think he's referred to us by one of the members of Dead Man's Press, one of the many Facebook groups I share our online groups with. So it's always great when we get some crossover from another state. I don't think we ever answered you, Alexander, but we're based out of Boston, Cambridge area. Oh, can you say something again?
Oh, can you hear me, or do I sound like a robot?
You were staticky for a second there, but now you're as fine as you were the first time. So keep going.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, so we're not too far away. I like to go to Gloucester sometimes on vacation. Okay, so on the way we traveled, what little we left behind underneath corn silk sheets of moonlight, across rock-faced profiles, lavender shadowed. Tiny rare things to spare, golden pheasant heartbeats, black bat flower petals. Laying hold silver birch, desert willow seeds inside us for future foresting. What little we had besides a fairy fly, a wood star to convey, surrendered against broad-winged macaw feathered sky. To protect heartwood, we secreted resinous essence, trapping swarmed recollection, hardening it behind us within amber clouds. We left behind rust, ash, bone-dry ancient seas unlike us, to meet thunderstorms dancing on Spanish green pampas. Before us flowed the eminent river and thaw, for leaving unsurfaced what remains. Thanks for letting me share again.
Thanks for coming. Hope to see you next week. Check out the Stone Soup Facebook group, which not only has information on future features and events, but also, occasionally publishes opportunities to submit work. Love to have you as part of the mix. Up next, let's welcome back Mr. Bill Lewis.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Why do you do these things to yourself, Chad? You could just pretend that I was muted and I couldn't unmute, and then you would have to, you could just ignore me and silly boy, silly boy. So I don't do mean things or weird things, but gross things. No, gross is acceptable. I mean, if you're going to work with kids, you just got to get used to gross. So it's just part of life. And every now and then you just get excited by these things and you just go with what your brain tells you to go with. It's a dead alligator. God, it was gross. Only 6 inches long, but it is gross. And we all laughed and made stupid alligator jokes. Then we ripped up the floor, a half 1-inch ply, really great board. Bitch cut into as a thaw. Must have been a great house before the floods. It'll be great again after we empty the lake underneath it and get out the dead alligators. 95 in the shade, humidity, sun. We're dragging out dead alligators and laughing like hyenas and having fun. We didn't have to be here, you know. We could have just stayed home and we could have just watched it all on the nightly news. But we came. They needed tarps and carpenters and help with trash and lots of trash and sometimes dead alligator trash. And I can pound a nail and run a skill saw and drag trash and lots of trash and dead alligator trash. And by God, if I have to drag around a bunch of dead baby alligators, I get to make gross dead baby alligators jokes, and that's all there is to it. How many dead alligators can you fit in a barrel of monkeys? I don't know, and I don't care.
And other riddles I don't want to hear the answer to. Thank you, Bill. Good Lord. From the surreal to the surrealer, our hard-boiled poet is next, Mr. John Wesick.
Well, thanks everybody. I thought maybe I would like to lighten the mood tonight a little bit with a poem about the end of the universe. It's called Vacuum Decay. Imagine reality perched on a cliff with only a guardrail separating it from a plunge into chaos. Ordinarily, that would be enough, but in the weird world of quantum mechanics, banging your head against a wall sometimes lets you through. Deep in the Virgo cluster, while dinosaurs still walk the earth, the Higgs field rolled down that cliff. Particles lost their mass in a bubble of chaos that expanded at the speed of light. Inside, a sledgehammer smashed the balance of forces that make life possible. Humanity was unaware of what was coming, a small mercy because no one could do anything if they did. The disturbance ripped through the earth in a 20th of a second. The Great Barrier Reef, heart transplants, morning star, 50-foot bronze Buddha at Nara, gone. Alkaline water, diet pills, billionaires' pet projects, gone. Beethoven, sex slaves, Congress deadlocked over the debt ceiling, gone. Putin's tanks, Kim Jong-un's missiles, Aristotle, Kerouac, gone. Hard northern wheat, pork bellies, soybeans, deep dish pizza, gone. Sweatshops, running shoes, factory workers, injured shoulders, gone. Jumbo jets, crowded airports, my mother's recipe for butter cookies, gone. Dante, Plato, Lake Baikal, the Hagia Sophia, Iguazu Falls, Bob Marley, gone. Newton, Einstein, the Vatican, Louvre, Getty, blasted into subatomic dust.
Uplifting.
That's a newer piece, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Unless
just
you were
wrote that.
prophetic about Putin.
Yeah, I just wrote that, I think this week, actually, yes.
Very nice. Thank you, John. And up next, oh, maybe some more French with Monsieur Angelo D'Amato.
So this poem is untitled as of now, and it starts off with an epigraph from the book The Perks of Being a Wallflower. This one moment when you're not a sad story, you are alive, and you stand up and see the lights on the buildings and everything that makes you wonder. And you're listening to that song and that drive with the people who you love most in this world. And in this moment, I swear, we are infinite. And now the poem starts. 1. A boy once wanted to build a magnificent Lego tower, just like the one at his best friend's house. He spent most of his weekends there. Maybe we should adopt him. Their family started to joke, and everyone would laugh. The boy never invited his friend to his house, even though he had just as many Legos, if not more, and a good space for building their ships. The boy's parents divorced. His Legos moved into his grandparents' basement, and he moved away. The boy and his friend saw each other once per month until the boy found a girlfriend who made him feel wanted. Rainbow cupcakes in the basement of a college, orange pants, let the wild rumpus begin. They walked on back streets glowing with light-starved leaves. Then the boy and his friend saw each other not at all. The boy never managed to build more than a stump of a tower in his grandparents' basement. Eventually, he couldn't bring himself to disturb the dust. He fiddled with a Lego man as his girlfriend watched. This was my childhood, he said. It was everything to me. The cold stone of the basement floor bothered his girlfriend, and he was ashamed. She rose, and he followed, hoping to find something in his life that he could share with her and make her smile. Now, she is long gone, and his Legos are gone, and his friend is dead. 2. A Lego man with a red mask they call the witch doctor surveys the overflowing green of the jungle as a blue-robed Merlin gathers an assortment of magical beasts to fight the demoniac Pumpkin, a warlock with a pumpkin piece for a head, and James Bond struggles with a malfunctioning Aston Martin. Quick! Lunch will be ready soon. We'll just plan as we eat, then we can get back to the story and play until nightfall, and then plan some more after the lights have gone out, until your parents bang on the door and tell us to go to sleep. But we'll just keep planning in hushed voices until his friend's ashes are in a box in the family room. He knows this. The Legos weren't the point. The boy returns in the morning to his home. He watches TV in the newly furnished basement. He is instructed to be quiet during dinner. He reads in bed. He wants the week to be over soon so they can pick up their Legos again and continue after they've been told to stop, piecing together their infinity. Thank you.
Love that piece, Angela. Very awesome. And up next, let's go to the open microphone stylings, back to the open microphone stylings of CC Ashagra. Let's go back to his tougher than a $2 steak lyricism. CC, are you there?
Here. Okay, great, excellent. All right. Dinner's terrible, man. Never eat that. Don't eat like that. All right. Okay. To the book. Here's one of the tougher ones in the book. Snapshot. Snapshot, the poet, read, I simply have no idea. Nothing more mattered than simply being there. The written exposure cried, help, help, I do not need you. His prop, a clenched fist. His message, I do not care if you do not like what I read or spout. I only come here once a week to piss you people off. After Snapshot left the microphone, he went over to a friend and asked, hey, buddy, hey, pal, what did you think of that? The answer was, it seems nothing matters anymore, except who is not throwing you out on your art. And that's the essence, in a way, of an open microphone that chooses to be inclusive. And you have to welcome everyone in, even voices that are insulting to some, but it keeps us free to allow all voices and let everyone's character fall where it may in the human equation of love. So when the book came out long 20 years ago, Evanston Street Press reviewed it. The only time it was ever reviewed, Doug Holder, way back in the day. And the at the end of the review, he mentioned one of the poems, and it was this one. Another new name was called to the microphone. The bloody driven sounds of angry nails were heard. The cross shape of the stage floor and the mic stand took form. It was hard here, and at times seemed impossible to see. Even harder to go on listening to somebody being one who is performing his own alone crucifixion. And the book also contains 3 essays of what it's like to release this 20 years later. And on the back of the book are quotes from Kate McQuaid, David Amram, Ron Whitehead, Melissa Goodrum, Tony Vandermeer from Boston College, professor of African Studies, and Jeff Robinson, who quoted it 20 years later and said 20 years later, it still means that I'm not going to read it out loud. And when I asked individuals for quotes, they said, I asked them to don't just be nice about this book. Did it last 20 years? Is this a contribution to humankind? Again, I say it's listed as a social science book because this is a study of who we are, what we do, and what happened when we're handed freedom. Can we survive ourselves and each other? And in our own infighting type of thing, divide and conquer crap. And Jeff said something really nice. So I asked him for a paragraph. I said, I don't just want nice words. I want words you guys can live by. And the entire paragraph that they sent is inside there. And so you'll see the excerpt, not just, hey, the guy was really a jerk, but what a great book of poems, ... What a great book of, no, it's not like that. The whole thing is in there in a section called Praise along with the thing. So that's what's here. Thank you, Chad, for mentioning it early on. It's available exclusively on my website, which is trying to get up and running really well. And if you're in the US, it's shipping and I'll sign it. It all comes from here. You know, this is for Jeff Bezos. I'm not giving him any money. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you. And thank you, Cece, and grab a copy if you can. I'm sure he's going to post links in the chat, so pay attention. So, but now we have 2 more people on the round robin. Let's welcome back, I should say, Mr. Garage Poet himself, Mr. Jeff Taylor. Oh, he might have actually left.
I think Jeff.
Yeah, nuts. All right. Well then, Kathleen, would Kathleen like to read one more time? No, she's all good. Okay, then I guess we got our conclusion for tonight, unless anyone has a epitaph for the night or a famous last words or a word. But other than that, I think we are good. And I do want to remind you that Tara Betts is going to be featuring next Wednesday. Get here nice and early if you can. I'm going to ask her if she wants to perform before or after the open mic. And I'm excited for her work. And there's links on the Stone Soup website to buy her book, which I hope you do. It was just released in June. She's done some fantastic work, and I can't wait to hear her full 20-minute set. And also Blackbird will be featuring live at Stone Soup. And hopefully in the next 72 hours, we can figure out a way to get my computer or any computer hooked up to include a hybrid session where it's not just me holding an iPad to make sure that people are able to hear. You know, we were in the makings of doing that, but then the person who was in charge of all that left. So now I have a new director and someone else who hopefully will help us with this. And thanks, Bill. And and hopefully we will get that taken care of. And more features are going to be announced. And CC just announced his PayPal and Venmo to purchase the book. I believe it's for $20, free shipping, and also a little free goodie bag, goodie stuff to come with the envelope. CC makes it worth it. And of course, check out the links also in the chat to buy John Wesseck's newly released books on the site that shall not be named. But hey, I got one too. But anyway, let's all be here next week, regardless of what happens with the fate of the hybrid readings at the assemblage gallery. A little bit of a quick wave. It's good to be back in the saddle and have no crazy stuff happen to me between last week and this week. So thank you guys very much, and I do appreciate all of your time. And I hope we actually have.
That's the interview I got, 90-minute interview with Michael Anthony Ingram. If you could check that out, that was pretty special. That last link.
It looks like we have it looks like we have a last-minute entry, and it looks like here comes a new challenger, as they say in the arcades. Let's see.
Yay!
I believe this is Prasanna Kumar. As a matter of fact, that's what it says.
Yeah, from India, live from India. Somebody woke up in the morning.
Yeah, no kidding. Prasanna.
Like 11 hours later or 10 hours later.
We had a short night, Prasanna, and we're about to finish, but we want to know if you wanted to read.
Yes, he does want to read. That's my vote.
I hope that's his vote as well.
It's not.
I said, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And turn on your video if you want to.
Oh my God. Hi, Ashika. It's been a long time catching up.
Was it three in the morning over there?
I just woke up. And I'm afraid that I could, I could not make it, but then yes. Maybe I think I could read something, small one. Okay. If I could turn on, you could see that, my email. Speck of celestial bliss. And before reading my poem, I must thank Chad for inviting me always. So yeah, I couldn't be, I was missing, but yes, thank you once again. The clash of titans in the sea of galaxies, the line of authority under the dome of the universe, the dance of gods and demons, the power mongers and the ranges of black holes. Ever since my birth, I gazed at the skies of blue horizons, merged I myself with the currents of comets crossing my pathways. The resonance of cosmic roar is what fascinated me to go after, crawled and crept to grow, young to pluck stars of microcosm and macrocosm. Yes, mature gigate that floats in the amniotic fluid of Genesis genetic strands of superior beings. Symbiotic energy was born to be called Brahmand. Now I stretched my vision as I became an adult to fathom further to measure the infinitesimal. A light year, while being stuck in the mundane realms, realize I am a speck in celestial wonder. Thank you. That's the end of my poem. Thank you, Ashgra.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you.
Thank you. We were just about to wrap up, but it's great. It's great that you came on. You're getting up. I don't even know what time it is over there, but I know it's
It is
early.
early. It's morning 7 o'clock.
Oof. Well, you definitely got more gumption than me on a morning like that. I can barely take a lunch for myself.
I usually woke up at 5:30, but then it's winter now. It's cold out here, so I think
Yeah.
I became lazy.
Oh, you don't show it, but thank you so much for.
Yeah, see, I turned on my video.
Well, thank you so much, and we'll look forward to, and I'll promote your call for submissions, which I think is coming up to an end by the end of the month. I'll do that tomorrow, and I do appreciate you coming on and supporting us. And to the rest of you, I thank you guys very much, and we'll do one more wave to include Prasanna. Who looks like he's being interviewed as a Trump source, all shadow, but
Oh, geez.
all you need is a voice to make you say, and then he took me a bit to the back room,
oh, Jesus. No,
all right.
Okay.
Let's not go there. But
Don't leave your day job to be a comedian, Chad.
But thank you guys very much, and have yourselves an excellent evening and a great rest of the week. Check out the Stone Soup Croutons poem this coming Friday, and have the best of nights. Take care.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
Be like this every week. All we need is you.
Thank you, Chad.
Bye, Mary.